let's talk about some hidden history. Where do our modern ideas of anti-Semitism come from?
When it comes down to this general concept of Jewish power, Jewish influence, international bankers, globalists, all of this really comes back to Henry Ford.
That's my colleague Dan Schulman, and I recently got a chat with him about his new book, Money Kings, the epic story of how Jewish immigrants transformed Wall Street and shaped modern America. Now, his book focuses on one Jewish immigrant in particular, Jacob Schiff.
Jacob Schiff was the most important and visible German Jewish banker of his era. And as such, he became the target of many different anti-Semitic conspiracy theories that persist today.
But it also gives us some insight into the foundations of modern anti-Semitic conspiracy theories we still see today.
Henry Ford was America's most famous automaker. He really revolutionized the manufacturing of automobiles. He was also the nation's leading purveyor of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. He particularly had it out for Schiff, who he blamed for fomenting World War I and a host of other things. He purchased a newspaper called the Dearborn Independent, and starting in 1920, and for the next 7 years, over 92 issues, this paper relentlessly attacked Jews. It blamed Jews not only for wars and financial panics, but things like wrecking American baseball. So it really was at the heart of unleashing modern anti-Semitism. The Dearborn Independent published its stories. It collected them in 4 volumes, which it titled The International Jew, The World's Problem. And these were printed around the world, including in Germany.
But why I think this story that Dan is telling is particularly pertinent to this moment is because it goes back to that first question about anti-Semitism and the history of hatred and bigotry.
When the New York Times visited Adolf Hitler in 1922, the reporter saw a large portrait of Ford on the wall of Hitler's office. And in a room outside the office, it was covered with copies of The International Jew, which had been translated into Germany, and Hitler and the Nazis were distributing millions of copies. But he made no secret that he very much admired Ford and his anti-Jewish positions. In a very real way, Henry Ford was a Nazi muse.
Now, the story of Jacob Schiff is a relatively unknown one, but throughout Money Kings, you can see again and again how one man's legacy touches so much of our modern life. I love getting to work with Dan. He is such a smart editor and colleague and wonderful writer. His book is on physical and digital shelves now. Trust me, you will not want to miss it.